Hey y'all, it's me, Marquita. If you're new here, my name is Marquita and this is the Mom and Mommy channel. We are a family comprised of myself, Marquita, my wife Krista, and our two beautiful daughters, Riley and Harper. Also, if you're new here and you want to learn more about my TTC journey with Riley, which took 13 cycles, I'll link the videos in the description box below and also up above here in the cards. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one. Today I'm going to be doing Harper's TTC and pregnancy video. So a little bit about me and my pregnancy journeys is that I am no stranger to loss. I have been pregnant 7 times, or like I like to say, I have had my body be the home to 7 souls throughout the course of my childbearing years. I have had 3 miscarriages. My oldest daughter, Imani, passed away from a congenital heart abnormality called Epstein's anomaly. We had our rainbow baby, Riley, who is almost 5. After Riley in 2015, we had a stillbirth with our son named Grayson. And in 2016, I got pregnant with our rainbow baby, Harper, who is now 2.5 months old. For those of you who are subscribed to the channel and watched my last video explaining Grayson's loss, you may remember that I said that I was completely done having babies. I wasn't having any more. I wasn't thinking about it because I just couldn't take the pain of having another loss. And I was actually due with Grayson on my 30th birthday. I thought that that was going to be the most amazing thing. I was going to be having this baby. I was going to be turning 30. I was due on my birthday. And so when my birthday came around for 2016, I could not bear the thought of just sitting here at home and being sad, thinking about my due date. And so I planned a trip with my mom and my grandmother for this epic 30th birthday celebration. Krista is not a huge fan of travel, and so she didn't come with us. And on that trip, I had a lot of time to spend by myself, reading, thinking, meditating, and I decided that I wanted to try to give pregnancy one more shot. So when I got back from that trip, I told Krista, hey, I want to try to have a baby, and she said, okay, fine. I think the truth of the matter is that she didn't actually want to get pregnant, and so she was fine with passing me the reins, but she'll never say that. So once I got back from my trip, we went, so for the trip, we went to an all-inclusive in the Dominican Republic, and I had a good time, which means that yes, I indulged in alcohol and eating lots of junk food and just fattening food. So when I got back home, I said, you know what, I really need to focus. I need to get back on my supplements. And there is also a video that I'll link in the description box below about all the supplements that I took with Riley. That list has definitely been pared down over the years, but I got back on my supplements and said I needed to get my body ready for pregnancy. And so I spent the time from March until June preparing for my pregnancy. In June, we planned our first IUI. There was a huge fiasco with our fertility clinic and their in-house sperm storage or cryopreservation site. They had actually tossed out 2 vials of our sperm that were sitting there since we had had Riley. Their reason for throwing out our sperm was that they didn't get our payment, although I paid it. And then they must have forgot somehow. It was a huge mess and we had to reorder sperm, and I can make another video about that, but it was a nightmare to say the least. So for the month of June, we planned an IUI, and I had a different doctor because my current doctor was on vacation. And this particular doctor tried to just make me do the standard textbook. You do your medication for a certain period of time, we come in, we monitor, you trigger, and then you do an IUI. I tried to explain to this particular doctor that that's not the way that my body works, that my trigger shot and my IUI have to be spaced almost 36 hours apart because that's when I'm going to ovulate. They said, no, you're gonna miss the window of conception and it's gonna be a failed IUI. Well, I listened to them thinking that they're the expert instead of listening to my body, and guess what? We had a failed IUI. I was livid, to say the least. Thankfully, in July, I got my regular doctor back and she said, absolutely no problems. We're gonna do the normal plan that we've always done. And I didn't really have a whole lot of symptoms during that 2-week wait. I had the normal sore breasts and all that cramping that you kind of get whether your cycle is going to start or not. And so I had no idea what to expect. I didn't want to test early because I used to be a pee on a stick-aholic, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be calm and relax and chill. And I was terrified of being pregnant anyway. So I went in and got a blood test. And the day that I went to go get a blood test, I went to the restroom before I was leaving and found a huge, I don't know if it was spotting or just, it was blood. And I just said, oh, well, my period's starting. Apparently I'm not pregnant. But much to our surprise, that afternoon we got a phone call and said, congratulations, you're pregnant. However, your numbers are really low, which means that this may not be a viable pregnancy. I was pretty upset by that because here I was thinking, yay, I'm pregnant. And then, oh, this is gonna probably be a miscarriage. So they said they wanted me to come in to keep having frequent monitoring. So I came in, got frequent monitoring, and those numbers just kept doubling. And so we went in for our first ultrasound and there was a heartbeat and I was so ecstatic.
This is the heartbeat right there. So nice strong little heartbeat, and I'll measure that too.
And I was terrified at the same time. Then we went in for our second ultrasound.
There we go. Oh, you could see little feet even.
And then our third, and they said we're releasing you to your doctor.
It's a baby. There's a little heartbeat noise.
There, look, there he is.
Little baby. Hi, baby. Oh, look at the baby chicken.
Look on the screen.
And feet.
It's jumping around.
Yeah, totally is jumping around.
Just like you.
My goodness.
Never stops.
Are you able to visualize also cord? I can see the neck, but I think I don't see it.
Look at
your arm! Oh my goodness!
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So, are you scratching your head? Totally. What are you doing? Get out of that private space.
Now, because I have a very complicated and high-risk pregnancy situation, I went to see a perinatologist as well as an OBGYN for my pregnancy care. But you know what? I said, this is not the pregnancy that I want. I don't want to be scared into things that I don't want to do. In addition to that, I wanted to have as natural of a pregnancy and childbirth as possible. For those of you who don't know, my profession is actually midwifery, and so I just felt like I needed to be with my people. I did concurrent care, which is where I was seen by an OBGYN, the normal time frame that you usually would, which is at the beginning, it's every month. And then once you get to 36 weeks, it's every 2 weeks and so on and so forth. And I did that because I got the reassurance of every single visit. I got a scan. I was able to see how the baby was doing, and I was able to confirm that there wasn't a cord around the neck, which is what happened with our son, which caused him to pass away. And at the same time, I also had midwifery care, which was great because our midwife came right here to our house. We had midwifery care on our sofa, which is something that is unheard of and was super convenient and was really great because Riley got to be a part of all of the visits and listening to the baby. I did experience hyperemesis, which those of you who were around in 2011 to 2012 with Riley's pregnancy know that I struggled with hyperemesis. But contrary to Grayson's pregnancy, where I had to have 2 hospitalizations and my midwife had to come over every single day and every week and give me an IV. This time I only had to be hospitalized once, and I only had to have rehydration of IV fluids one time throughout the pregnancy. I was able to manage the hyperemesis pretty much with Zofran every single day, and also taking half a tablet of Unisom and B6 in every night so that I wouldn't have morning sickness. I had morning sickness the entire pregnancy. I threw up the entire pregnancy. And that's just kind of what comes along when you have hyperemesis. I didn't have gestational diabetes this pregnancy like I did in Riley's pregnancy, which is weird because with Riley's pregnancy, I was actually lighter in terms of weight than I was in this pregnancy. We did the alternative jelly bean test, which was great because I didn't have to chalk down that disgusting glucola, and it gave my body a chance to adjust to the sugar, but still also give an accurate result. If you're interested in that, you should do your research. There have been studies on it, and ask your care provider if you can have the jelly bean test versus chucking down that 50 grams of glucola. My weight gain for this pregnancy was fairly low. I didn't gain more than 18 pounds. I'll have to look and see what the exact amount was, but my weight gain was steady and it was slow. And I actually carried a lot closer to the body this time than I have in previous pregnancies. And for the most part, my body felt pretty well throughout the pregnancy. I went to the chiropractor often, and then I also went to get acupuncture frequently. So like I mentioned earlier in the video, my labor and delivery plans were to be as natural and normal as possible. And so we planned to have a home birth. And I was really excited about the prospect of a home birth. The funny thing is that when we bought this house, when I was walking upstairs in the room, I said, this would be the perfect spot to have a home birth. And you know what? That setup turned out to be the most amazing thing. So this ends part 1 of our pregnancy and labor and delivery journey. Make sure to stay tuned and watch the second part that is going to be the labor and delivery vlog, which is all the footage from the labor and delivery and a voiceover about how the labor and delivery went. And then also part 3, which will conclude the series, which will basically be my feelings about my labor and my delivery, how I'm doing postpartum, and what I would probably do differently if I had to do it all over again. So thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed. And you know what? I have a question for you guys. During your pregnancy, what was something that you did that other people maybe gave you the side eye about? Our home birth was the one thing that people were like, really? You've had 2 C-sections and you're gonna attempt to have a VBAC? That's crazy. So what's one thing in your pregnancy that people kind of gave you the side eye about, but you didn't care because you did it anyway? Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.